On June 3rd, 2016, Athleisure Monk tweeted, Scully, victim died of multiple stab wounds. Mulder throws her a file. Ever heard of the knife alien? This is the Museum of Twitter, the show we talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. For those of you who are young and are ignorant of the pop culture that came before you, this tweet is about the show The X-Files, and it is like the canonical tweet about the show. There have been other viral tweets about The X-Files, but I don't think any tweet has escaped X-Files Twitter as much as this one has. I say that because I really only have watched 11 or 12 episodes of The X-Files. I watched most of the first season when I was in college. I thought I was going to binge all of it, but then I realized, wait, it's 200 episodes, and I got intimidated by the number. I'll get to it at some point. But I would never cover this tweet without an expert who can really speak to the intricacies of The X-Files. So I reached out to Dave Gonzales, who is a pop culture writer and podcaster who co-hosts the Fighting in the War Room podcast and co-wrote this book, MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios. So, Dave, how essential to The X-Files would you say this dynamic is, where Scully will say something and Mulder will come back with a theory of some kind?
I mean, it is, I guess, sort of a hallmark of the X-Files, because X-Files was one of those shows that was right as we were getting into serialized television, but the networks that were broadcasting it obviously wanted to syndicate it. So we got to have little Monster of the Week episodes. And this is sort of the base dialogue that happens in Monster of the Week episodes, and why it's so good for parody, but also exactly why the X-Files works is because once you realize who these characters are, the sort of serialized element is watching their dynamic sort of evolve. And this dynamic is Scully can't believe something is possible, and Mulder knows the very, very niche conspiracy theory or monster lore that makes this thing possible. And the way it would evolve in a show is that Scully would see basically she would touch the unknown and then walk away and be like, I don't know what I saw, Mulder. Feelings are different than science, and we'd go back into the loop.
And I feel like the thing that makes a tweet funny, obviously, is that she says victim died of multiple stab wounds, so it seems like the idea of giving the X-Files a regular murder. Is there an example in the X-Files of there being a thing that just seems conventional and Mulder is no, it's actually the knife alien?
There is an early sort of an early AI fear episode where it's a computer that's in control of a building. And that's sort of as sci-fi as they could make it, is maybe this computer has a consciousness, but it's really just a building security system trying to kill you. And there was, I think, up through season 3, a lot of those sort of one-off episodes that got really weird. Then we got very mythologically focused. And then afterwards, the weird episodes would be there's an episode where Scully has a tattoo that starts talking to her and sort of playing with her brain. Mm-hmm. And it ends up because somebody put a dye that is a drug into the red of her tattoo. So it just, the knife alien, there's several layers of onions to the knife alien. The knife alien is the top layer in how weird the X-Files ended up getting.
How do you feel like the X-Files, Mulder and Scully, would actually react to if there was a knife alien? What would it be like? Where would it be? What's your pitch on the knife alien episode?
Oh, my pitch on a knife alien episode is, yes, the fact that it's some sort of stabbing alien. Mm-hmm. I actually think it would be funnier if instead of a knife alien, it ended up being a Freddy Krueger, dreams sort of thing. Okay. But take mysterious stabbings, push it in as many directions as possible. It needs to be knife alien for Mulder to get involved. But very often in an X-Files episode, once they get there, the real thing they discover is even weirder. And so I would like Dream Invasion. I would like Freddy Krueger X-Files crossover with knife alien.
I mean, in the 90s, you needed to have 25 episodes sometimes, so it isn't off the table.
Absolutely.
I really want to thank Dave for coming on, and seriously, this book is great. I think Dave gave a great explanation of why this dynamic being parodied is actually so essential to the show, and why it's kind of the lifeblood of the whole thing. And that's the thing I really like about the tweet, is that it's clearly done with a lot of love. It is not done to make fun of the X-Files. Like Mark Baker tweeted in 2022, I've been rewatching X-Files, and a version of this has happened 14 times in the first 2.5 seasons. Notice he didn't say that as a negative, he's just this is funny that this always happens. Creator of the cartoon Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, Ben David Grabinski, called this still the best tweet, and it brings people together. Abby Denton tweeted, my girlfriend, hot, beautiful, good, has been showing me the X-Files lately, and we love doing the ever hear of the knife alien joke. And on multiple occasions, people have responded with what they actually consider to be a knife alien from another piece of pop culture. Here, someone posts the Giron, or Gyron, I'm not sure, from the kaiju movie Gamera vs. Giron. And then Damn This Sideways House posts a photo of Steppenwolf from Zack Snyder's Justice League. Although I would say this is less a knife alien design and more a poorly thought out and ugly alien design. Twitter user Garbage Coven put on an alien suit and grabbed a knife and tweeted, "Ever heard of the knife alien?" And Joe White 3D posted a drawing of the knife alien on the X-Files subreddit 6 years ago. There are many parodies of this tweet, and I only picked out 3 of them because there's only so much time in the day and you have things to do. Steven is Cowboy quote tweeted photos of an alien hot air balloon with Scully. It's just an annual festival in England. There's weird ones every year. Mulder throwing folder at her desk. Ever heard of the balloon alien? Cooper Co. was asked what it would be like if Mulder and Scully were to investigate the crime in Twin Peaks, and he wrote, "Scully, victim died of multiple cases of not being great. Mulder throws her a file. Ever heard of the Bob alien?" And Vrunt tweeted, "Scully, victim died of multiple nag wounds. Mulder throws her a file. Ever heard of the wife alien?" It's just so easy to parody, and like I said, people who love the X-Files love the tweet, and I love that for them. And it does make me feel a little sad, because I feel like in this day and age of 100 channels and 25 streaming services, it's almost impossible for a show to become as culturally centered in order for people to make a joke about it that becomes this widespread. Like, yeah, I guess at the height of Succession, you could make a joke about Logan Roy that could get this popular, but I don't know, it feels like your favorite show might only be watched by 600,000 people, and most of them aren't on Twitter. I don't want to go back to a time when there were only 5 TV channels, but I do wish there was more monoculture. This is just me editorializing. This has nothing to do with the tweet. Follow me for a new tweet every day, and consider subscribing at patreon.com/museum of Twitter, where you can get things like the bonus episodes called the Museum of Not Twitter, where I cover a thing that was big on the internet that did not start on Twitter, and also you can vote on what I cover on Subscriber Sundays.